All right, Al. Clay Helton out at USC. Uh, Honestly, I think he should feel some relief at this point. How long he was on the hot seat, how many years he struggled there and struggled recruiting, what that job has turned into since he's been there. I bet he feels just, I know not too much because he got fired, but just a little bit of relief.
Like, they hung on to him for so long.
They
And
did.
see, this is the thing about Clay Helton. I think Clay Helton is a good guy, and I
Right.
think he's actually a pretty darn good coach. The problem is you have to be like you got to be a certain type of dude. You got to be a certain type of coach to fit in at USC.
Yeah.
So that brings us to who is going to replace Clay Helton, and what criteria must you have to be successful at USC? Because the ramifications of this hire are huge on the landscape of college football. Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama are running things in their region. The West Coast has got to get USC back. In a day and age of name, image, and likeness and the rich getting richer, USC, for the West Coast's sake, cannot blow this hire.
Yeah, they need it. The West Coast, the Pac-12 needs it. College football needs it, in my opinion. But when you talk about those checklist items, I think first and foremost, the most important thing is recruiting LA and California and the surrounding area. You have to do that. And it's a different mindset recruiting on the West Coast. Like, it's completely different. So there's only a certain few people, I think, that are wired to do that.
Right. And the candidates we hear, who are the candidates that we hear about? Well, one of them, Luke Fickell.
Yeah.
Okay, that was one of the first that got brought up because Mike Bone, who's the athletic director at USC, somehow, after Gabe, do you remember his stint at Colorado?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
he fired Gary Barnett,
Right.
fired Dan Hawkins, hired John Embry, fired John Embry, hired Mike McIntyre. Okay, well, he goes to Cincinnati and then he hires Luke Fickell. Like, good hire, but the most obvious hire for Cincinnati in the history of the program. Ohio guy, born in Columbus, former Ohio State defensive coordinator.
Dude, he's
Perfect.
more of a skyline chili guy than an avocado toast type of guy.
Right.
Let's be real about the situation. Like, I like Luke Fickell. He's a great coach, but I think he's more of a Midwestern guy. So
Right.
then you eliminate him and you look at other guys. Eric Bieniemy. I don't mind that. From the West Coast, from LA, played at Colorado, coached at Colorado, knows the Pac-12, knows offense, and not to mention SC offensively has a lot of weapons. They've been great with wide receiver. They have Jackson Dart, who is I believe, a 5-star recruit that came in at quarterback. He'll be the future of that program. So I think that would be a decent fit.
I think the best fit right now, if they can get him, and there seems to be mutual interest, and we know he's kind of I'm not going to say a job hopper, but he's going to be interested. James Franklin.
James
Okay.
Franklin, man.
I'm not a huge fan of James Franklin as not just as a coach, but some transgressions in past jobs and the current one he's at. But he can recruit.
Can he recruit West Coast guys? That's my question, though. Can he get with that mindset?
He's figured it out in the South. He's figured it out in the Northeast. I think he can figure it out on the West Coast.
And then, of course, I'm going to bring in one more, Mario Cristobal
Yeah.
at Oregon. But here's my thing, and I'm going to bounce this off you, though. He has recruited his ass off. I mean, ass off on the West Coast and in L.A. He's done a great job. But my big question with him is, should he leave Oregon? That's a plus job, man. No one gives it enough credit. Nike money, Phil Knight. They already have the recruits. He's done a good job. I just don't know why he would leave right this second.
Why would you make that move right now?
I don't know.
You're gonna get paid as much as you want. You have the facilities to upgrade whenever you want.
Right.
And you already have the recruits in your conference. Why would you jump to another program in your conference where you'd have to rebuild that. That doesn't make sense.
And there's a certain guy who's the Jaguars head coach who's been rumored. He answered a question today. Here's that.
Rumors came out yesterday connecting you to the USC job. I just want to give you the opportunity to refute it so that I can put it to bed.
There's no chance that I'm here and committed to try to build an organization.
Okay.
Not too convincing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not all that convinced that he hasn't been on the phone with USC officials, that he's not thinking about jumping ship, because it's not been fun for him, man, in Jacksonville.
He's already losing his mind in Jacksonville, according to reports. This isn't just me,
right.
But
this is
some coaches have been leaking to the media that he's having trouble. He's going unhinged at practices. That team is horrible, and they may win 2 or 3 games all year.
That was a shit show he put on the field against the Texans.
Absolute garbage. I could not.
And I can't look. I'm not surprised, man. Like, I just didn't see the NFL thing going well for him.
Is the college game going to go much better for him if he goes back to it?
I don't know.
Is there a worry that at this point, Urban Meyer, the game is past Urban Meyer
I think
by just a little bit?
Maybe not the game, but his shtick and how he treats people and how he acts toward people. Maybe that's passed by. I think that's the bigger issue when you look at Urban Meyer.
His play calling, his offensive schemes, like, that's not a concern?
I know. I'm not saying it's not a concern, but I think
can you run quarterback power to a national championship anymore?
QB power, baby. Dude. Does Tim Tebow have any eligibility left that he can use at USC?
Where's Jason Barrett when you need him?
I swear, man. It's just unbelievable. But we shall see. Keep an eye on it. But if you need to like, subscribe, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, go follow us. Like, subscribe, do the whole 9 yards. We have some content spitting out every single day. Weekly, we have a lot of things that are coming out, and we're also going to start streaming for you guys every weekend. We're going to preview some of the weekend's matchups on Saturday morning, and we're going to get that out to you as well.